Good evening, students. Today I'm going to explain you a new story, which is Tree from Assam, and this story is a part of Glimpses of India. So let's get started without wasting any time. First of all, before starting the story, I'm going to tell you some background of the story. So, there was a Pranjal and Rajveer. So, Pranjal, a youngster from Assam, and he was the classmates of Rajveer at the school in Delhi. And the Pranjal's father is the manager of a tree garden in Assam, and Pranjal has invited Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacations. So, Chai Garam, a vendor called out in a high pitched voice. He came up to the window and asked Chai Sahab. So, the Pranjol has ordered two cups of tea for himself, also for his friend. So, they sipped the steaming hot liquid. Almost everyone in the compartment has means what they have done. They have, as they sipped so almost everyone was drinking in the tea compartment. So there was a hawker which is selling a hot cups of tea of the tea compartment window. So Pranjal's order have two the Pranjal's ordered two cups of tea, and this as they sipped the tea. So Rajiv has told to Pranjal that about 80 crores cups of teas are consumed every day around the world. So he told it that. So what happened? Pranjal was presently very surprised about this. He commented on popularity of Santi that the tea is very popular, as he was very surprised after listening this. So Rajveer looks at the scenery of Rajveer looks scenery outside. It was very beautiful and it's very humble. Right? He was amused by seeing it from the train. It was very panoramic, and there are a greenery outside it. So tea bushes spread as far as there were tea bushes. They can spread as far. Tea bushes was also there. It was very far as I could see. So Pranjal beautied it, right? So as I told you, Rajveer was a big fan of the detective story. He has a hobby to tell stories to people, right? He always tells story to people. So he's just telling story to his friend Pranjal. So as I told you, there was greenery around it. What happened? So there was a tea bushes, so there was a beautiful view which was there against the backdrop of densely wooded hills. A sea of bushes stretched as far as the eye could see, dwarfing the tiny tea plants were tall, sturdy, and shady trees, and amidst the ordinary rows of bushes. There was a busily moved doll like figures. So there was a beautiful view which was there, and so there was a beautiful view, and he was also amused in the view. Also there was a big trees, tiny trees was there. Also there was a large trees, tall trees was also there. So he's busy in seeing that. For who? Rajveer. In the distance was an ugly building with smoke pouring out of the tall chimneys. So also chimneys was there. Here tea garden, Rajveer cried excitedly. Pranjal, who had been born and brought up on plantations, didn't share Rajveer's excitement. On this a tree country now, he said, Assam has the largest concentration of tea plantations in the world. You will see enough gardens to the last of the time. So what happens? There was a like in Assam, Assam is basically famous for tea plantations only. So Assam is famous for tea plantations only, nothing else, because Assam is a beautiful place, and Assam is a beautiful place. It is just famous for a tea plantation. There was a lot of trees. Now of tea leaves. I have heard reading as much as I could about tea. Rajveer said, no one really knows who. Now what happens? Legends about tea. But now Rajiv had narrated a few legends. Okay, to Pranjal only. So what they have narrated? So they were one story. Okay, so as he's telling to the Pranjal, there was one story of the Chinese emperor always, he used to always boil water before drinking it, right? One day, what happens? Some few tea leaves spill in the pot and gave the water delicious flavor. So that is from there the invention, from there the tea was discovered. So this was a story that I have told you. So what happened? Tell me another. Pranjal was loving the story of Rajveer. So what happens? And also he has told another story which was an Indian legends. And Indian legends. Okay, so there was an Indian legends also narrates the story of the Buddhist monk. So there was a Bodhama. He cut off his eyelid to stay awake during the meditation. It's a very popular story which is there. But I think this is a myth. Okay, so what happens? He cut off his eyelid. Isn't it? He cut off his eyelid to stay awake during the meditation. So this was the thing which was happening. It was very it is peculiar stories which was there. So it's your wish that you believe or not. So as a result from there, 10 tea plants. As a result from there, 10 tea plants emerged from his eyelid. Yes, it is very peculiar. As a result, what happens? 10 tea plants emerged from his eyelid, and the leaves were boiled with the water. What happens? So leaves were boiled with the water to make a drink that banished the sleep. So what happens? He used to just boil it, and he used to just boil the tea leaves, and that banishes the sleep. Like it banishes the sleep, just banishes the sleep. So what was the thing here? So as I've told you, what happens? Tea plant grew up eyelids the daily of the when put in the hot water and drunk banished sleep. So it banished sleep is banished, right? Tea was first drunk in China. So the tea was first drunk in China. Means in China the tea was first drunk here. So what happens? Now it was now he is telling us facts about trees, facts about teas. There were some facts about tea, or there were some informations about tea, so they are there. So Rajveer then told Pranjal some facts about tea. So what happens? Tea was first drunk in China in 2700 BC. In fact, the words chai and chini come from the Chinese language only. You know, chai and chini words come from the Chinese language only, and tea came to Europe only in the second century. Right? What happened? Now the tea was European only discovered tea in the 16th century. So 16th century, they have discovered the tea. Even then, they consider it more, means they consider it more, right, of a medicine than beverage. So what they're not considering it as a beverage, they're considering it as a medicine. Instead of beverage, they're considering it as a medicine. Who? Europeans. So it's a question can come. So please highlight this point. What happens now? Now basically the train finally reached to the Mariani Junction. Now the train reached to the Mariani Junction, and the Pranjal's father, or the Pranjal parents, was waiting for the boys. So what happened? Together they drove towards Dhikyabari Tree Estate. So together they were going to the Dhikyabari Tea Garden. And so they are going there only. The estate which was managed by the Pranjal's father, that was only the Dhikyabari estate. So please mark this question. The Dhikyabari tea garden was managed by the Pranjal's father. Dhikyabari tea garden was, or we can say Dhikyabari tea estate was managed by the Pranjal's father. As they entered the estate, so they saw the neatly cut tree plants on either side of the road. So they have cut they have cut the what they have cut as they entered the estate, so they saw it is neatly cut out. What they neatly cut out, they saw it is neatly cut out. What? Tea plants were neatly cut out on the side, like on side either sides of the road. So it was neatly cut out, right? Now what happened? The tea pluckers, what we can say now, tea pluckers with bamboo baskets, and there were some tea pluckers with bamboo baskets, okay, on their backs, wearing plastic aprons. Also they are wearing plastic aprons. So the tea pluckers with bamboo baskets, plastic aprons they're wearing, they were busily plucking the newly grown, they were busy in plucking the newly, and like the tea leaves. So they were very busy in plucking the newly grown tea leaves. Now what happens? Like Pranjal's father slowed down to allow a tractor. Now pulling a trailer load of a tree leaves to pass. So Pranjal's father slowed down to allow a tractor pulling a trailer load of tree leaves to pass. So this is the second flush. Now what is saying that Pranjal's father explains that the period as they are here. So it is a second flush season, which lasts from the May to July, and yields the best quality of tea. So now Pranjal's father was very surprised to see the knowledge of the Rajveer, that it is a beautiful knowledge. So he was very surprised about this. So Rajveer knowledge about teas, he impressed about the knowledge of the Rajveer. It was very amazing. So Pranjal's father and Rajveer expresses his enthusiasm. So like Rajveer expresses his enthusiasm. It was amazing. So it was amazing, the enthusiasm to now Rajveer has a more unity to learn more about the tea cultivation and working of the tea estate during his visit. So this was the thing which was happening. You seem to have done your homework before coming, Pranjal's father said in surprise. Mr. Barua, Rajvi admitted, but I hope to learn more while in here. So what happens here in the last para? So I'm going to explain you again. Like Pranjal's father slowed down to allow a tractor. Now he has allowed a tractor pulling a trailer load of a tea leaves to pass. This is the second flush. I had told you that this is the second flush that he told us that this is the second flush of which lasts to May to July. And so which lasts to May to July and yields the best tea. So Rajveer asked this. So you seem to have this.